5 simple ways to create a better life. In this video, I'm going to break down 5 very simple steps that if you apply them to your life, I promise you, your life will never ever be the same again. But more of that in a moment. But first off, let me ask you, when you think of the future, how do you think? What do you see? Because the reality is we all think in pictures, and in this video I'm going to break down some incredible information to really help you go from where you are to where you want to be. But once again, before we get stuck in, I think it's really important that we just stop and look at where we are in the world right now. Our world has massively changed. In the UK, we had Brexit, then we've had COVID, and now we've got a war in Ukraine. We've got house prices that have gone through the roof. Inflation, the cost of living is yet to soar. And there are so many other changes that are coming, whether we like it or not. And personally, as a coach, I don't think there's ever been a more important time for us to look to the future in a different way. For us to look to the future in a way where we feel positive, we feel optimistic, we feel hopeful. And that is what these 5 simple steps are designed to do. So if you're ready, say I'm ready. Okay, I heard you. Let's go. So the first step is to actually stop. Most people, when they think about changing their life, they think, let's go, let's start. But if you start without stopping, guess what happens? History has a habit of repeating itself. And I know how hard it is to just stop and be asked a few questions, which I'm asking you right now. And the first question is, how do you feel about where you are right now? Don't judge, don't criticize, don't blame or shame. You are where you are, and this is the best place to be. But ultimately, where in your life would you actually like to make some progress? Because I would say what got you here, it isn't going to get you there. And as a coach, the 3 areas that we know that most people are interested in advancing in, they are your health and energy, your relationships to yourself and your relationship to others, and your wealth and your work and your service. We call that the big 3. So in this simple first step, I want you to think about what results are you currently producing in any one of those 3 areas. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say your health is? 10 being, I'm super healthy, I'm full of energy, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm strong, I'm fit, I'm indestructible. What number would you give yourself? Now, whatever that number is, let's say it's 7, my next question is, why is that number not, now I know you're probably expecting me to say higher, why is the number not lower? Look, the reason it's not lower is because it's important, but how important is it? Let me help you make it more important if it's an area of your life that you want to progress. So give yourself a score out of 10 for your health. What about your relationships? How are you with the relationships with the people that matter most? Your friends, your family, your spouse. And what about your relationship to yourself? How is that? What's it like actually being you? How do you feel about yourself? And then lastly, with your wealth and your work and your service, where are you there on a scale of 1 to 10? Because ultimately what you'll see is there is room for improvement. There are gaps. And do you want to fill in any of these gaps? Look, let's be honest. If all I had to do was wave my magic wand after you told me what you wanted, the areas you wanted to improve in, and I'd wave my wand and you'd have it, how many of you would say, P, please wave the wand? But we know it's not as simple as that. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the world today, they want everything done for them. So the first step is to stop and look at where you are. The second step is to start building a relationship to the most important person in the world. And I know that's not me. The most important relationship in the world is the relationship with the person that you want to be. Now, we've mentioned this before in some of our other YouTube videos, which is the science around all of this. That most people, they know who they are today, tomorrow, next week, next month, but beyond that, that person is a stranger. So if I was to ask you another big question, the question is this: what will be the greatest thing you ever do? Not what you've done, what will be the greatest thing you ever do? How many of you know that the greatest thing you will ever do will be the person that you become? And what I'd like to help you to do is to get to know that person. Look, ultimately, you're going to meet the person that you're going to become, but will it be someone who you want to meet? Because right now, today, we have a choice. And I believe the choices that we are making are either going to move us in a direction that we want to go or move us in a direction where we go in the opposite direction. I want to help you get back on course so you can become your future self. Your future self is more courageous than you, wiser than you, stronger, has achieved more, is happier, more fulfilled. The question is, do you not only want to connect to that person, but become that person? And that's what step number 3 is. Step number 3 is commit. Commit like never before. You know, there is an ancient Indian Sanskrit word that means hero in the beginning. What does that mean? It means thousands of years ago, people recognized that people would give in to temptation. People would start things and not finish them. It's not the massive action that most people need to take. It's tiny action that, if taken every single day, will produce incredible results. So here's another question. What is 1% of your day? 1%. 1%. 1%, all it is 14 minutes and 24 seconds. Do you have 14 minutes and 24 seconds to improve your life? Yes or no? Now, you know you have the time, but where could you best place that time? That if you placed it there every day by doing certain things, where would you be after a few days, weeks, months, and years? This is where we can apply one of the most powerful laws in the universe, and that's the law of compounding, aggregating, doing something over an extended period of time. Let me put it to you like this. Do you want me to give you £5 million in cash right now, or I'll give you 1 penny and I'll double it every day? Which one do you want? Make your decision now. Now, most people go, 5 million. Well, if you took a minute to think about it, I didn't give you a minute, and you did the maths, say, Pete, make sure it's 31 days, because the 1p every single day would double, not very much to start off with, 1p, 2p, 4p, 8p, 16p, 32p. After a couple of weeks, you think, Pete, what? I'm not getting anything here. But after 31 days, you'd have close to 11 million. This is what you need to do. If you want to build a better life, it's the simple things that you do every single day. So what is the 4th step to building a better life? Now, this is going to shock you. It's called love. Have you heard of love? I had a massive epiphany about this the other day. Waking up to the realization that if you don't love what you do, guess what? You're not going to do it for very long. We know what drives most people to build a better life. It's a dissatisfaction with where they are. There's pain, there's a disaster, there's a prognosis, there's a diagnosis. People feel so much pain that they're driven to move away. But once we get out of pain, if we don't love what we do, we go back to where we were before. Now is the time for you to love what you do, whether it's exercise or meditating or writing. And if you don't love it now, learn to love it, or at least love what it gives you after having done it. Because the hardest thing to do for most of us is just to get started. And this is why I am so determined to help you build a compelling relationship to your future self. So the 5th step is to go public. What does that mean? It means to tell people what you are committed to doing, the future that you wanted to create, the person you are 100% committed to becoming. These are very simple steps, but if you put these steps in motion, an object in motion stays in motion. That's what Sir Isaac Newton said. And that is why we created the Stop One, Start One app. This is an app that you can download for free. You have absolute free access to this for 2 weeks. And after that, there's a free version or there's a paid version. The app is designed to bring these steps into play. And you'll see in the comments a link so you can download it as I help you identify with the person that you want to become, and then help you with certain stops and starts that, if done over an extended period of time, guess what's going to happen? You're going to meet your future self. So what I'd like you to do right now is to watch another one of our videos, which is meeting your future self, how to reinvent yourself. This will give you another perspective of the person that you're going to meet. I believe your future self is actually talking to you. And in this video, you'll see how you can start communicating with the most important thing you will ever do, which will be the person you become. Click on that right now, watch the video, and I'll see you next time.